Good morning guys, hope you're doing well. This is the video for today's setups, although I say that, but we probably won't look at setups today because I think what's going to probably happen is that we could go a bit risk off. So I need to show you what I mean and why I think that might be the case. And now this is something that it's in play right now in Discord. I published it yesterday, and so we basically got this double supply, one supply, then a second one. So we've got like a confluence of resistance for gold. So this is like a trade that's ongoing in Discord if you want to take it. I took profit on AJ this morning of 190 pips. So I'm kind of like, I'm done for profit. I've got this small position on gold to the downside. Maybe just show you AJ actually. So the Google Sheets EA was saying buy, and we got it on Monday. That's pretty good trade. So let me show you the Google Sheets, and oh good, I'm glad I did that. Sometimes my remote desktop, it kind of freezes sometimes. So we're up a lot, which is nice. This would be the 6th positive week in a row, which is really good. And what it does, it uses H4 trend analysis. So it looks at a triple EMA. So it looks at the 8, the 21 and the 50 on the H4. And then if those MAs are aligned, ascending, it looks for a buy only if the sentiment agrees. So this calls data off the Google Sheets, does a check on the technical, and then it opens. Now you notice there's no SLTP. So that's down to you guys to do that. For the sake of testing the sentiment, I'm letting the trades run, okay? And so we can see GA is really pumping very nicely, which is pretty fantastic, really. I may have exited too early on AJ, but it's a nice profit. So what I've done is I've copied these by symbol filter. So I'm not copying all of them, I'm just selecting the pairs that I want. That's in the receiver app on the copy trading. So you can copy this. You have to just go to Patreon and then just sign up to the basic tier, and then you can get access to this robot via copy trading. So this is going well. It's going much better than I thought. We were in humongous drawdown though, I need to say, is that we were down 150 bucks. So that's really terrible and pretty reckless, to be honest with you, but we're now positive. So had you have had stop loss, you would have probably been burnt. That's the trouble, right? We can't trade without stop loss, but however, you know, so unless what we're going to have is like an emergency break in case we have like a central bank intervention or some emergency thing, then we could at least have like a emergency break. Copy these, but have a wide SL, and the TP would be governed by the closure on Friday. This closes at 6 p.m. every Friday UK time. So we're doing really nicely. In fact, this is the best week in profit of the last 6 weeks. We normally hover around 25-30. We're actually beating that by quite a margin. So that's cool. So let's show you the indices. I've dragged my RDP back. Yeah. And so I think what might happen, see the DAX is a bit tricky because they've gone long. So this is a legit candle. This is a real candle. It's not fake, okay? Because they've gone long, they're going to get punished. So that's okay, okay? Yeah, so they've gone long. Me doing this, I magnify it so it's easier to see. US 30, we're making a flag and it could be bearish. Technically, it could be quite bearish. If we break that and then we see continuation, we'll just see this trend continue lower. If they buy it, which looks possible, then we're going to break. All right, now if they do sell, we'll do this. Hence, there's not going to be any trade setups today because we could be short-term risk off, perhaps very heavy risk off, and then by New York, Asia, we could pump. That's the and we're just sideways there. So with yesterday's trades, unfortunately we got stopped out of EU by 2 pips. So It's kind of frustrating, but it's okay. It may continue lower. We may inevitably get stopped out because it looks like we're going to continue a bit lower. We do have some nice support below. We've got a super trend here, but that's our trade that didn't pan out. We did make about 25 pips or so profit. You could have probably moved your stop to break even, but it's up to you. And that was yesterday's trade, so it looks like we're going to see a stronger USD. Then that would hark back to what I was saying about perhaps being risk off a little bit momentarily. And then EN was a trade that we were going to take for an order, and what it actually was, let me delete that. So it was saying that we were on this B2C leg, and it was saying we were going to come down here, auto chartists, and it would be something like this. The TP was around about here, but then I was thinking, well, that's not a very good harmonic. This would be a better harmonic. The D should be above B. And then I figured, well, we could probably come up to this supply. And this move here, move higher, is a risk-off move. So we're probably doing this. So we can probably delete that now, because that never got filled. And we could do something like this. And that's an okay. It's almost like a bat pattern. So this would be a sell up here, but we'd be buying up to the D in order to sell. And that's come about because of this. And notice we chopped very hard on this block. So we may come back up to it. And that would be a slightly risk off scenario. So the Google Sheets EA is going incredibly well. It's pretty amazing. Gold shorts in play, but be careful. And they may short it, so be extra careful if they do. And the sentiment on the indices, we could be a bit sideways, slightly bearish as well. Let's look at the bubbles. See with fear as well on our risk calc. So we've got to be careful about being too bullish. Wow. Okay. Cool. Aussie. We're in the bully zone on Australian dollars, so they're really short, and they added short, and there's not going to be many people left trading that. There's not going to be any bears left, and so once that happens, once they've got completely destroyed, we can see that move, and we can see that that bubble should shrink because the size indicates performance. So if we see a shrinking of that bubble, it's likely going to gravitate over here, and then it will just be a stop run. It will be basically liquidity probe and hunt on Aussie. Yen is fairly extreme, and so is New Zealand dollar. So be careful, Aussie. We could reverse, especially if we go risk off. So I think that's probably a bit too extreme for me. We're definitely in that bully zone, and this is the bully zone as well. I wouldn't necessarily buy yen, and I wouldn't necessarily short Aussie, but you could take profit, which is what I've done on Aussie yen. All right, so remember to trade safely, and I'll speak to you guys soon.